Now, Donald Trump's been very tough on CNN. He calls them fake news all the time. In fact, here, let me show you this tweet. He says, the fake news media, failing New York Times, NBC News, ABC, CBS, and CNN is not my enemy. It is the enemy of the American people. And it wasn't just tweets. He said it as well. Let's watch the video.
A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people.
And as I showed you, specifically in that tweet, he mentioned CNN. So Jeff Zucker, who runs CNN, was outraged by that, rightfully so. He said that Trump's comments were, quote, dangerous, unprecedented, and shocking. Shocking. Okay, well, I think it's fair. I mean, I've never seen a president say that the press is the enemy of the people. It is absolutely outrageous. Zucker's absolutely right about that. In fact, he went on to say, it has been shocking to watch how many members of the political establishment have not been willing to stand up to that statement. Well, that part I don't agree with because that part is not shocking. Politicians are cowards. They're errand boys for their donors. To expect them to do something courageous is a fool's errand. But okay, overall, I understand the sentiment though, and Jeff Zucker's totally right about that. So, of course, in response, he's gonna show Donald Trump what's what. He's gonna hold him accountable, and CNN is gonna be the watchdog that we need. That's why today they hired Jason Miller. Who's Jason Miller? Trump's former senior communications advisor and spokesperson. Oh, that's embarrassing, dude. After he criticizes you like that and he spits in your face, you go do him a favor by hiring the guy who was his mouthpiece? And you're gonna pay Donald Trump's mouthpiece to be on your air and do his propaganda. Now, I want to remind you of this interaction that Donald Trump had with Jim Acosta from CNN. This is right when they were most heated, and look at how badly Donald Trump treats CNN here. Watch.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are attacking our news organization.
Your organization.
Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically,
she's asking a question. Don't
Mr.
be
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody, no, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
He called you fake news and then you hired his mouthpiece. It reminds me, of course, of John Stossel and Dr. David D. Schultz.
I think this is fake.
You think it's fake? What's that? Is that fake? Huh? What the hell's wrong with you? That's open hand slap, huh? You think it's fake? You talk like that? It's fake? Huh? What do you mean?
What the hell's wrong with you? That's an open-handed slap. Jeff, he open-handed slapped you. And what'd you do? You paid his mouthpiece. You hired his former spokesperson and you're paying him a good salary to do propaganda on your air. That's embarrassing. Embarrassing. You did it before too with Corey Lewandowski. Oh, I'm fair and balanced. I mean, I'll have some people tell the truth and some people tell lies. Some people that will be challenge the government a little bit, then I'll brag about it, right? And then some people who will just do propaganda for the government. No matter how much they lie, it doesn't matter. And it's not like he's the only person who supports Trump on CNN. There's two others at least, Jeffrey Lord and all the other people who make outrageous defense of Donald Trump. But this is his former spokesperson. Now, our graphic here, most busted name in news, that might seem harsh, right? Well, it turns out it doesn't matter. If you insult CNN, they hire you. If you really insult CNN, they'll pay you a ton of money to insult them on their own air. It's an open-handed slap. What are you gonna do about it? The answer isn't nothing. The answer is yes, sir, absolutely, sir. I will not hire your former spokesperson in an effort to be fair to you. The correct answer is actually do watchdog journalism. I don't care what the Republican Party says. I don't care what the Democratic Party says. I don't care what Trump says. I don't care what the government says. What is the truth? What is the reality? You don't need two sides doing propaganda. You just need all of your people to actually try to arrive at what is real. You don't need to pay someone to do propaganda after they spit in your face. But the mainstream media is never, ever, ever going to get it. As Jeff Zucker said earlier that the era of access journalism was over. Well, what is this? It's not over. It took like a 2-week vacation and they're right back in it. This is why no one trusts the media. Luckily, there's a new independent media and we don't play this game. Can you imagine us paying a Trump spokesperson? Or a Democratic spokesperson or any of those guys? No, our job is to hold them to account, and that should be everybody's job in the media. But for CNN, they are so proud today. They got a Trump guy, and they're paying him a lot of money. They're making it rain on him. Congratulations. Boy, you're so trusted. And they can't figure out why the American people have lost faith in the mainstream media. It's not that complicated. Support independent media and get the whole Young Turks 2-hour show and other network shows all ad-free. TYTnetwork.com/join. Come join us today.